Hey there, it's Juju. And yesterday I talked about my maternal grandmother. I am the granddaughter of immigrants. And today I'm going to talk about my paternal grandmother. And I don't have as much information. Her name was Helen Kowalewski. And she died when I was young. I was only, I believe, 5 years old. So my memories of her, I do remember her and being in her house and neighborhood, but I don't have a lot of the details about her. I am going to share some pictures. And here is a picture. So this is Babka. That's how I knew her, is Babka, and this is on her wedding day to Papa, as we called him. And she was quite a bit younger than he was. She was born in Lithuania, I know that. I know that as a teenager that she would use the black market by crossing the river to sell soap on the other side. As I mentioned yesterday, we are coming from a very poor peasant background, and you did what you needed to do to survive. And all of the borders were shifting at that point, so I don't really even know where this took place, but I remember my dad telling me stories. She came to this country. My grandfather immigrated first to Gary, Indiana, and worked in the steel mills, stoking the furnaces, and it took him a while to bring my grandmother and my aunt over, and then my dad was born here in Gary, Indiana. And she did not speak much English. She was Lithuanian, and then they moved to Latvia, and then they immigrated, then they tried to go back and had to return after World War II. And the only reason that they were able to get back into the country was because my dad was a U.S. citizen. And a little aside, the way they determined that he was a citizen is they asked him questions about baseball. So if that was the test for citizenship today, I would totally fail, even though I was born in this country. So Babka, as I knew her, when I knew her, she was living in Bright, California. And I have some young memories of her. As I said, she died when I was 5. I am sitting on her swing right now. This is the family swing, which is over 65 years old. I think it was made from the back seat, the springs with the back seat from a car. When my dad was growing up and they were living in Gary, she was a bootlegger. She would sell whiskey during Prohibition. So I wish that she had lived long enough for me to get to know her, because I really relate to her radical spirit. The way that she died was that she was a very innovative businesswoman, just like my other grandmother. And they had a little house in the back that they rented out to a disabled woman who couldn't get out of bed. And so my grandmother would cook meals and take care of her. Her name was Mrs. Kincaid. I remember that. And there was a fire in the house, and Babka went in to try to save Mrs. Kincaid, and she succumbed to the smoke. Succumbed. English. It is my language, but I don't speak it perfectly. Anyway, she was overcome by the smoke and died. Both of them died in the fire. And again, I was only 5 years old. I think that this might either my grandfather, one of them died when Kennedy was shot. So that would make me like 5 years old at the time. And so I am the granddaughter of proud poor immigrants that came to this country to find a better life. And I married a Canadian and brought him to this country as an immigrant. My sister married a Mexican man from Tabasco. So we have the whole American continent covered in my family. And I have nothing but love for immigrants. I think that I was raised with very much a hard work ethic. And I think that the immigrants that we have here today that are coming from other countries, specifically Mexico especially, but also from most of the immigrant, many immigrants are working a lot harder and have the hard work ethic that I don't think is necessarily ingrained in a lot of this American generation. And I think certainly after the pandemic, that affected people's willingness to work. I think that there's an entitlement in this country. And so I appreciate everyone who is coming here to have a better life. And I want our immigration system fixed. Let's go back to that bipartisan bill that would have passed and would have solved a lot of these problems, but which was torpedoed because they wanted to turn this into a political issue. It's a strong political issue. Let's look for solutions. And the solution is not, the bringing in the Marines into California. Everything that is being done right now is unnecessary. And I have high hopes for this country. And I do support the immigrants here. I also support a secure border. I support regulations. When it comes to criminality, you can look at my other videos to find out how I believe about that. But today I just really wanted to focus on, Helen Kowalewski, my paternal grandmother from Lithuania. And so this is Juju, unscripted, unedited, and unfiltered, coming from Bobka's Swing. And please lead with love.